Good afternoon po, Dean and classmates. I'm on together with Mami Miss. We are assigned to report the information system security topic. So, what is information security? Information security, sometimes referred to as InfoSec, covers the tools and processes that organizations use to protect information. This includes policy setting that prevent unauthorized people from accessing business or personal information. InfoSec is a growing and evolving field that covers a wide range of fields, from network and infrastructure security to testing and auditing. So, information security protects sensitive information from unauthorized activities. Kasama po dito yung inspection, modification, recording, and any disruption or distraction. Ang main goal po nito is to ensure the safety and privacy of critical data such as customer account details, financial data, or intellectual property. Ang ilan naman po sa consequences ng security incidents ay ang pagkuha ng private information, data tampering, and data deletion. Attacks can disrupt work processes and damage a company's reputation and also have a tangible cost. So, what are the three principles of information security? So, number one is confidentiality. Confidentiality measures are designed to prevent unauthorized disclosure of information. So, ang sole purpose ng confidentiality principle is to keep personal information private at masigurado or ma-ensure na visible and accessible lang ito sa mga individuals na nagmamayari ng data or need i-perform yung organizational functions nila. Next is integrity. Consistency includes protection against unauthorized changes, addition, deletions, alterations to data. So the principle of integrity ensures that data is accurate and reliable and is not modified incorrectly, whether accidentally or maliciously. Next is availability. Availability is the protection of a system's ability to make software systems and data fully available when a user needs it. So the purpose of availability is to make the technology infrastructure, the applications and the data available when they are needed for an organizational process or for an organization's customers. Next is information security versus cyber security. Information security differs from cyber security in both scope and purpose. The two terms are often used interchangeably, but more accurately. So, cybersecurity is a subcategory of information security. Information security is a broad field that covers many areas, such as physical security, endpoint security, data encryption, and network security. So, an information security policy is a set of rules that guide individuals when using IT assets. Companies can create information security policies to ensure that employees and other users follow security protocols and procedures. Security policies are intended to ensure that only authorized users can access sensitive systems and information. So, top information security threats. There are hundreds of categories of information security threats and millions of known threat vectors. Below, we cover some of the key threats that are priority for security teams at modern enterprise. So, number one is unsecure or poorly secured system. The speed and technological development often leads to compromises in security measures. In other cases, systems are developed without security in mind and remain in operation at an organization as legacy systems. Organization must identify these poorly security systems and mitigate the threat by securing or patching them. decommissioning them, or isolating them. Next is social media attacks. Many people have social media accounts where they often unintentionally share a lot of their information about themselves. So attackers can launch attacks directly via social media. So ang example po nito is by spreading malware via social media, or indirectly by using information obtained from these sites to analyze users and organizational vulnerabilities. At pwedeng gamitin ito to design an attack. So next is social engineering. Social engineering involves attackers sending emails and messages that trick users into performing actions that may compromise their security or divulge private information. Attackers manipulate users using psychological triggers like curiosity, urgency, or fear. So organizations can mitigate social engineering by making users aware of its dangers, or i-train sila to identify and avoid suspected engi- to use social engineering messages. In addition, technological systems can be used to block social engineering at its source or prevent users from performing dangerous actions such as clicking on unknown links or download unknown attachment. Malware on endpoints. So organizational users work with a large variety of endpoint devices, including desktop computers, laptops, tablets, and mobile phones, many of which are privately owned and not under the organization's control, and all of which are connect regularly to the internet. So a primary threat on all these endpoint is malware, which can be transmitted by a variety of means. So may result in compromise of the endpoint itself, and can also lead to privilege escalation to other organizational systems. Next is lack of encryption. Encryption processes encode data so that it can only be decoded by users with secret keys. It is very effective in preventing data loss or corruption in case of equipment loss or theft, or in case organizational systems are compromised by attackers. So unfortunately, this measure is often overlooked due to its complexity and lack of legal obligation associated with proper implementation. Organizations are increasingly adopting encryption by purchasing storage device or using cloud services that support encryption, or using dedicated security tools. Uh, Next po is yung active versus passive attacks. So information security is intended to protect organizations against malicious attacks. There are two primary types of attacks: active and passive. Active attacks are considered more difficult to prevent, and the focus is on detecting, mitigating, and recovering from them. Passive attacks are easier to prevent with strong security measures. So, what is active attack? So, an active attack involves intercepting a communication or message and altering it for malicious effect. There are three common variants of an active attack. Number one is interruption. So, the attacker interrupts or attacks the original communication at gumagawa ng malicious messages, pretending to be one of the communicating parties. Next is modification. The attacker uses existing communications and either replace them to fool one of the communicating parties or modify them to gain an advantage. Last one is fabrication. Fabrication creates fake or synthetic communications, typically with the aim of achieving denial of services, or DOS. These prevent users from accessing system or performing normal operations. Uh, Yung last slide ko po is passive attack. In a passive attack, and an attacker monitors a system and illicitly copies information without altering it. They then use this information to disrupt network or compromise target system. So that's all for the first part of our report. So forward ko na po kayo sa aking partner, ang aming data protection officer, si Mami Miss. Thank you po.